State officials in North Carolina spent Wednesday alerting residents to the growing threat posed by Hurricane Erin, a powerful storm swirling off the Atlantic coast. Emergency leaders stress that while the eye of the hurricane is forecasted to remain offshore, its size and strength mean communities could still experience dangerous conditions, including flooding, high surf, and tropical storm force winds. At a morning briefing, Public Safety Director William Ray urged residents to comply with evacuation orders already in place for certain areas, and he says, and I quote, "If you have been told to evacuate, the time to leave is now. Roads may become hazardous very quickly, and the impact of storm of this magnitude can be felt far beyond its center." End of quote. Authorities anticipate that the storm's effect will intensify through Wednesday night and linger into Thursday. Erin has strengthened into Category 2 hurricane, marking the first Atlantic hurricane of the season. While its projected track keeps it offshore, officials are especially concerned about low-lying Barrier Island along the North Carolina coast, where evacuations were ordered for parts of Hatteras and Ocracoke. This Landers Island, which attracts thousands of visitors during summer months, are highly susceptible to storm surge and coastal erosion. In 2019, Hurricane Dorian devastated the Ocracoke, and more recently, Ernesto produced dangerous surf despite never making landfall. Local business owners are preparing as best they can. Holly Andrzejewski, who only last week purchased the historic Atlantic Inn on Hatteras Island, said she has had to postpone guest reservations until after the storm passes. She and her family have secured outdoor property, stocked supplies, and ensured generators were ready. She says, and I quote, "When you choose to live by the sea, you know storms are part of life." End of quote. She said that, noting that her daughter and son-in-law are staying on the property to keep watch. Long-term residents and shopkeeper Tommy Hutchison, who runs the island's only grocery store, reflected on the uncertainty these storms bring, and I quote, "We bounced back from Dorian, but that one surprised us with how destructive it became. You just can't predict how bad it will get." End of quote. Forecasts show tropical storms conditions reaching the Outer Banks late Wednesday on the early Thursday, with similar impacts possible in Virginia and even as far as Bermuda later in the week. The National Weather Service warned of sustained winds up to 45 miles per hour, higher gusts, and potential storm surge of 2 to 4 feet in vulnerable coastal area. Rainfall totals of 1 to 2 inches are also expected, raising concerns about localized flooding. Meanwhile, treacherous surf has already led to dozens of rescues. At Ratchville Beach, fire officials reported pulling 60 to 70 swimmers from Creek Currents earlier this week. Though thankfully no serious injuries occurred, officials are pleading with residents and tourists alike to stay out of the water. Beaches up and down the East Coast, from Florida to New England, have closed for swimming due to life-threatening rip currents and waves that could swell to 15 feet. New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy cautioned, and I quote, "Simply put, don't go in the water." End of quote.